What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 121 with Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, dude?
Not a whole lot. You're in a new location now.
I am. We finally got internet at the new house. We have the office mostly set up. There's still some stuff I need to clean up in the office, and my desk isn't quite how I want it set up, but we're making do with what we got right now.
Yep.
I'm going to be ordering a new adapter for my Ethernet port, and hopefully that'll fix my internet issues. So then I can start streaming to the YouTube. Hopefully, I'm going to get an adapter for my third monitor so I can have that accessible as well. There's a lot of plans I have for this setup once I get everything up and going, as well as cleaning up everything in here to make it fill out. I probably want to soundproof this room a little bit too. I don't think
echoey.
I don't think so, but I would rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Especially if I am going to be here long term, which is the current plan. Just making this into like a recording studio. I don't know if it's actually visible, but I do have a closet back here behind me, and it's very much full of junk right now. But I would like to eventually. Tiff and I have joked about it, of like clearing out one of the closets and just setting up in there, and that being my recording studio and everything. Because, dude, it's big enough I could fit my desk in there if I really needed to.
I mean, yeah.
I told her I was going to do it to the one in the bedroom, which is this one in the office is much longer than it is wide, whereas that one is more square, so I could actually do it. But yeah, it's like obviously a long shot of things that might want to happen eventually, but probably not.
Yeah. I could do that here in this room. This room's got a very wide closet I could do that in, but I also just like being able to sit and not have to feel like I'm in an enclosed space like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I don't have a problem with like claustrophobia or anything like that, so like it wouldn't bother me. But obviously I do like having open space, being able to eventually expand this out, and getting rid of some of this junk in here that's still in here would be preferred. So yeah, I am happy that we have everything mostly ready and to the point where I can start doing things. And I am going to be back doing laddering this week, so expect that on next Wednesday. The 6th is going to be my first one back, right?
If you're back to doing laddering, it's going to be the 29th this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you're back this week, you're doing it on the 29th.
I will not have one ready by this week because we're cleaning out the apartment the next couple days just to make sure everything's done. So I'll be back the 6th.
There you go. I'm about to say, when you were telling me you were going to come back this week, I was like, that's awfully soon.
I don't know. I was thinking a week in advance of I'm going to be able to record this week, not be uploaded this week. That's my fault. You can yell at me.
It makes more sense now.
Yeah. I knew what I meant. I thought you knew what I meant. We'll make it work.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I got teams lined up. It'll be okay.
Yeah, I know. We have the Crystal Rain video you've been working on as well, and that's going to come out the
goal
the
is
8th,
the goal
right?
is the 8th. Yeah, I'm gonna spend, if I can't get it all edited this weekend and get it up sooner, my goal is to spend the 4th that I have off, and I'll be home alone probably editing that.
See, I unfortunately work every weekend, including Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so I will be working the 4th, but it's okay because we are very much incentivized to work holidays and get paid very well to do so.
Yeah. They're all the higher up management's going to the lake anyway, so no one would be there to run the store. So it'd be me to go open it, and I'm just like, nah, that ain't worth my time. I'd have just left it closed.
Yeah, it'll be great. I'm excited to, obviously I'm not I don't celebrate anything on the 4th because I have to work. I was telling my old roommate that if we last year I was off for the 4th because I got hurt at work. I pulled something in my back, so I had like 3 days off because the plant was closed and that's all I could work at was the plant. I wasn't actually on a route. And so I told him the next time I'm going to have a 4th of July off is going to be in like 2024 or something absurd. He's like, that's like forever away. I'm like, well, you know.
So you can always come bug me. I'll be at home.
Maybe. I might actually stop by. It depends on where I'm working, because right now I'm still working here, there, and everywhere. So I was actually, the last couple of days, I was up in your neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Our buddy Cliff, who, you know, we used to play Magic with a lot, he moved to Colorado. And so I was messaging him. He's like, yeah, I'm actually up in Warrensburg picking up some stuff. I'm like, I literally just left there. Like, you couldn't have said something like 10 minutes ago and I could have stopped by and seen you. He was like, oh, I'm not actually in town. I'm just in town for like, you know, the next couple days. Like, oh, well, I still haven't seen you in like 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, lived half an hour away from me, but, you know, that something happened a couple years back and I, you know, like traveling was not really, you know, like the thing people did for some reason. I don't remember why.
Yeah, we had him over right before everything got shut down here at the house, and then we hadn't really got to see him since. And we lived right down the road from him, so.
Well, he's also one who is very, very precautious with everything. When it did get shut down, he was very much on top of everything. And I think a part of that is, you know, him and his mother are in very, very close proximity, and he doesn't want to get her sick or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I do completely understand and respect his decision, and I completely get it, especially when things were first bad. You know, we did everything remote for a while, and as things started to clear up and everything, and obviously, you know, as we made sure that we were fine every week to make sure that, you know, hey, I'm not feeling great, I'm not going to come up, and you know, so we did the proper precautions and everything, even if we didn't follow proper regulation.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? I feel like we've ranted for like 15 minutes and haven't talked Pokemon at all yet.
I mean, it's fine. It's the only NAIC. That's the only thing we really have to talk about this week.
Never heard of it. I don't even know what that is.
Oh, we also have the Direct to speculate on for the 29th.
You want me to be the bearer of bad news?
What?
The Direct is supposed to be like a mini showcase Direct, and is most likely not going to involve Pokemon at all, from what speculation I have seen online.
They changed that a little bit because they had the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Direct separate from everything else. This would be the Direct that they normally would do at E3.
Mm-hmm.
This is what this Direct is coming up is.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this is just something I had read on Twitter between all of the you know, Pokemon news and everything. A couple of the accounts I follow are like, hey, don't be alarmed if there's nothing actually showcased in this. We're probably not going to expect anything. So, if it is cool, obviously I would love new...
Everyone said that about Pokemon Day, too.
Like, obviously I would love new news. And if we get it, cool.
Yeah.
And if not, whatever. Like, it's not going to affect me either way.
We're getting a ton out of the leaker community anyway.
For sure.
Like...
Which... I haven't really followed much of the leaker news. It's more of just
it's a lot of just Pokedex stuff.
Yeah,
that's all. That's all really that's what's going on right now is people confirming things for the Pokedex.
The big thing is like all the riddles that are coming out and everything. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I am not one to
Tim, one of our mods solved one.
Yeah, and then a certain PokeTuber did not give him the proper credit, but.
We ain't gonna hold no ill will against them, but come on, man.
I didn't specify who. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, I know. But come on, man. You know who you are. Not that you ever even watch or listen to us anyway.
Just saying, give people the respect they deserve. I appreciate you, Tim. Thank you for your hard work and dedication in figuring out code. Yeah, I'm actually not even on the. I think it's r/PokeLeaks.
I don't know. I just see him on Twitter.
I don't even do that.
I see the Riddler coup leaks on Twitter all the time. People talking about it. So.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, like this direct coming up is supposed to be our E3 since E3 got canceled due to COVID. Way back in like March, they canceled it. Which, in all honesty, E3 was a dying thing anyway. People were literally pushing their news conferences earlier and earlier away from E3. So I'm not surprised to see E3 just dead.
Yeah, just to have your event be the first one out there. Yeah.
I expect E3 to become back to the Penny Arcade Expo that it's supposed to be. It's not going to be built around these big reveal, flashy conferences and things like that anymore.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Sony has their own thing in December that they always do. Nintendo has a million directs a year. Xbox can host an event whenever they want.
Yeah, it's Microsoft, Xbox, Bethesda, whatever you want to classify it as. All of them have. They could
start an event right now and everyone will go and watch it. They don't need E3 to do this stuff anymore.
So I listen to Funhouse, which is it's a gaming centric channel on YouTube. They do a lot of gaming content and everything related to it.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have a podcast, it's mostly like a comedy show. And it used to be all about like gaming and gaming news and stuff like that. And it eventually has just turned into, oh, hey, here's this thing that happened this week.
Mm-hmm.
But like anytime like something important does come up related to games, they usually try to cover it. So like they talked about the Bethesda news and all that this week. And so I listened to it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. That sounds great. Like I don't actually care about it of any of these things. Like the things I care about, I already know about. There's very few things that are coming out that I truly do care about. Speaking of which, things that are coming out and I care about, I need to go download Fall Guys real quick.
Yeah, my wife has been playing it a ton. This is your PSA. It's free right now on the Switch. Go pick it up.
And let me tell you, it is a blast. I played back in Season 1 when it first came live, and like it first started getting really popular. I'm just like, this game is so fun. And it really is just a blast. So if you're interested in just like... It's the best way to describe it is a platforming battle royale. Which, like, I like the battle royale gameplay.
I'm going to date myself. It is most closely related to the Most Extreme Challenge. I don't know if you might not be old enough to know what this show is.
Oh, I've heard of it.
So they would take old Japanese game shows, like challenge shows, and they would voice over it because they're all speaking traditional Japanese.
Yes. I remember
the Most Extreme
these,
Challenge.
I remember this on like super late night, like TNT or like late night TV.
Yeah.
This is like the same thing that was on during like Ninja Warrior and like stuff like that. Yeah.
It was on G4 for a while.
Yes.
MTV had it for a little bit, but so it is very much, that's what Fall Guys is this kind of goofy challenges that aren't necessarily really based in the real world. And I think that's why Kayla enjoys it so much, because we've been watching MXC a little bit here and there in our free time. And so when I told her Fall Guys is free on the Switch, she just like immediately downloaded it, and that's what she plays right now. It's just Fall Guys all the time.
Ooh. Lego Star Wars is on sale too. And let me tell you, I love me some Lego Star Wars.
I about bought Borderlands today. I looked at it like four times.
I've almost bought Borderlands like every time it ever goes on sale.
Like, now it's for $20 for all 3 games.
That sounds about right. Same with like BioShock. I've always wanted to play them, and I've avoided spoilers to BioShock for this long because I'm just like, I'm gonna play it eventually, and I just never
So I
like,
skipped 1 and 2 and went straight to Infinite, and I loved it.
really? Okay. And like I've heard really, really good things about them, but I have never actually played them.
It's just a weird take on like first person adventure.
And like I own the first one for my 360. I just have never played all the way through it.
Um, Also, speaking of note, Scarlet and Violet pre-orders are available on Pokemon Center.
Yeah, I since I do have the app store, I mean the game store open currently, it is on there.
Yeah, there's digital
And
copies on the Nintendo eShop, but there's physical copies available for pre-order through Pokemon Center.
sweet.
You get
I will need to
a
go
backpack.
to
Some kind, you get a digital
interesting.
code for a backpack or something. We don't even no clue what it looks like.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
But yeah, that's the big Scarlet Violet news so far this week. Still no news on a gimmick. Honestly, I'm okay if we don't have one. I'd be a happy camper.
I'm really hoping I'm really like if we're gonna talk about Scarlet and Violet for half a minute, I think for we kind of had this discussion the other day on the Discord. I think from a gameplay perspective, the idea behind these gimmicks that they have are very good for the casual player. Stuff
Yeah.
like Mega Evolution, and you have your Dynamaxes and your Z Crystals, and like obviously they tie in really well to the anime and like the manga. I don't actually know if they still make the manga. I'm assuming they do. I know
I
like
don't
the
know.
anime. I know the anime is obviously very popular.
Pokemon
Um,
Journeys is very popular right now. Let me tell you that.
And so the idea behind having these not only benefit like the casual fans, but also have like this connection to the anime fans and like everyone in between, and like having it on Pokemon Go is obviously a big deal. And I think they're very good for that group. But when it comes to the minor the minor group of people who are the competitive players, I genuinely don't particularly care for them when it comes to the dynamic play. Um, Stuff like Mega Evolution, I don't particularly care for. Z moves, I don't really care for. Dynamax, it's fine. Like, of the three, I would most likely rather have Dynamax. I think that it can lead to very dynamic plays, obviously, like, hence why, it's the play on words.
Mm-hmm.
But, it can lead to very offensive plays. It can lead to, setting up these defenses boosts so you can live extra hits, or setting up speed boosts and so you can take over the game that way. There's a lot that you can do with Dynamax that I think is very good. The downside is after playing it for, 3 years now? 2 years
Mm-hmm.
now?
Going on
Just over
3.
2 years. Yeah, coming up on 3 here
It'll be 3 in November.
It's just kind of... I'm just kind of over it. Like, I'm ready for something new. And if that something new is nothing, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like I would rather just take nothing. Like, give me nothing at this point. There's a reason I'm really good at the Gen 1 random battles, right? Like, no
Dude,
gimmick is good.
I love Gen 1 Randbats. I have played here the last several weeks because I haven't really been involved with Series 12 or anything, especially because of everything going on in my personal life where I haven't had a chance to actually do so. Anytime I want to play, I just fire up and play 1 or 2 Rinbats, and they're great, and I love them. And it still keeps me involved with, like, obviously I want to finish Blue Kaizo, so, like, playing Gen 1 keeps me in tune with that, so, like, stuff is really cool there. And, like, I messaged you the other day, I'm like, hey, did you know Poliwrath has access to Amnesia?
Yep, I
Because
did that.
I did not. Like, this is not something I've ever seen before. And as a result, not something that I was even aware existed.
Yep.
So, just, they're cool. They're great. And no gimmick, I think, would be the best thing that I would like to see.
Agreed.
I'm hoping that there is obviously going to be. I feel like it's very obvious to people that there is going to be some type of like time travel or something like time-esque appeal to these games based on the graphics we've seen. The big thing is I hope it's just gameplay mechanics and not actual like competitive, and like I hope it's all like story based and not gameplay based, I guess is the best way to put it.
A lot of people are speculating that the open world part of the game is the gimmick for the game.
Which, if so, that's fine. Yeah. I actually would very much welcome that. Just being a traditional Pokemon game with open world aspects to it, I think would be very good.
Yeah. People are speculating that we're going to get all of them because of the Pokemon that we've seen in trailers. So, who knows? But
my bet is on not all of them. But that's just also my personal opinion, and have nothing to say related to it.
Oh, okay. You ready to move on to NAIC Top Cut?
The big thing that went on this weekend, and instead we spent 20-ish minutes talking about life.
Anything else? Yeah.
To be fair, this is like the part of the show that I was actually like involved with because, my life is a dumpster fire right now, so I haven't been able to watch everything like I want.
Yeah, you're a little bit behind. I got to watch most of the Top Cut and the finals, and I got to pretty much listen to all of day one.
I listened to a good chunk of day one, between like cleaning the house and doing yard work and packing an apartment and just everything else that's going on. I had it on basically all day to some point just like, oh, that's a really interesting line. Just obviously listening to it because the commentary is fantastic. I cannot stress that enough.
They do a fantastic job of describing the game state at all times.
It is. They were talking about it today on Discord of how welcoming VGC is as a viewer experience versus the TCG, and I think that's very, very true. And like they said today when we were talking about it, TCGs are very hard to watch live content for. This is something that you and I can specifically attest to because we spent how many years watching and playing competitive Magic. This is something that we have seen, and like watching it as an outsider, I remember, I had it on multiple times, and Tiff would come in and she's like, I don't understand this game, and just get up and leave. Whereas I'm just like, what don't you understand? It's perfect. It makes perfect sense if you're paying attention.
Yeah, if you're paying attention to it, it makes great sense. But if you look away for 30 seconds, you'll be lost forever.
Whereas with this, she knows all the Pokemon. She's able to tell me stuff about them, and I'm able to have a conversation with her about them. And it's way more welcoming to be able to look at the screen and go, oh, hey, there's Charizard and Venusaur. What's going on here? Like, it's way catchier to go, oh, there's a Kyogre. Like, these are Pokemon that, like, people know,
Yeah.
So, like, it's way more welcoming to everyone than looking at a table and go, I think that's a Palkia, but I can't really tell.
Under on you picking out a Palkia in the current TCG format is very high. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, to be fair, this is also Origin form Palkia, which not everyone's going to be able to tell you what that is. It's just like, that looks really weird.
Nah, what I'm saying is you just picking a card at random and guessing. It's going to be very high that Palkia is what's up on the table right now.
Palkia, very good. Who knew?
If it's not a Palkia or a Sobble, I'd be very surprised. I know there was a Mewtwo V or whatever on top 4 this week at NAIC in the top tables, but
Mew is very good, or was there for a while, and now that Astral Radiance has come out, which is the most recent set, it is very, very cool to have Palkia be like easily the best deck. Before Astral Radiance came out, we had Brilliant Stars, I think.
Yep.
And like Arceus came in that set, and it was very, very good. And that was the first set where we introduced V Stars as a mechanic, and so having access to that is obviously interesting as well, because you're adding in new game mechanics, and that's something that like Pokemon as well as like Magic and other TCGs do, is they constantly are adding new mechanics, so it's much harder as an older player to come in and go, what's going on over here? I don't recognize this. That's weird. Stop it.
I will say it is much easier to follow Pokemon than it is to follow Magic right now.
Oh, you weren't kidding. There is a Mewtwo. What is this list?
I told you. I had heard about it on Twitter. I
was this is sick. Okay, so there was this subset of promos they made that are called V Unions.
Yep.
Which are, like, you had to have 4 of them. There's one of each corner. And they all had to be in your graveyard to bring it out. And you put all 4 of them as one big Pokemon. Yep. And each corner has a different attack. So this Pokemon has 4 attacks, which for Pokemon is absurd. Most have 1. Some have 2, and very, very few have 3. So let alone to have 4 is absurd.
Uh-huh.
They're also playing Miltank. Oh, this deck is cool. I own, like, all of this. I might have to slap this together just to play it.
I'm about to say, Carter's got a new pet project.
Nah, not really. We own, because my girlfriend works for our local LGS, we have every product that ever comes out anymore. So just, like, all these V-Union boxes and everything we have, and we just have in a promo binder.
Well, there you go.
Oh, this is sick. I didn't know. This is so cool. Arceus Flying Pikachu won the event.
Yes.
What is this? This is so bizarre. Like, I expected a bunch of Arceus and Teleon and Palkia and Teleon, and then people come in with Flying Pikachu and win. This is so cool. And Mewtwo, like, top 4. This is awesome. I need to send this to Tiff.
There you go. Something good to come out of NAIC TCG for you.
Yeah, this is awesome.
On the topic of TCG, I heard someone got DQ'd.
Yeah, well, okay, yes, there was actually a DQ for a guy palming cards, which I'm assuming that's what you're referring to.
What are you, a magician, just hiding cards in your hand while holding?
I guess, man. Like, evidently this guy is also like a known cheater. Like, he's done it in events past, and so instead of banning him, they just slapped him on the wrist and said, "Okay, you're DQ'd."
You feel like after so many of times, you would just realize, oh, just don't let him play anymore.
Oh, you would think so, man.
But I will say that there's always going to be someone trying to cheat someone in TCG. That's just the nature of the game. People want to win, and they want to get every incremental advantage. Oh, for sure. Like, and so that's why you keep an eye out for that stuff, is when you can catch them. They're usually are just everyone's, once they're caught once, they usually have everyone's eyes on them for the rest of the time they play the game.
Yep.
Whereas in VGC, it is much harder to do that now, because they have awesome checks and balances.
It's absurd. But whatever, man.
Transitioning from the TCG to the VGC world.
One last TCG comment.
Oh gosh.
I'm assuming you heard about the guy who played 1 round with jumbo cards.
It was more than 1 round.
It was?
So here's the rule. So they had to go into the rules and see if there was a rule on playing with the oversized cards, right?
Which there was not.
Which there wasn't. So he was allowed to play with them for that round. However, if he wasn't allowed to switch back, he had to continue to play with the oversized cards.
Oh my good lord. Because
that's what he submitted. Something about having potential to do something with the car, like going from the big ones to the small ones, something going on there. And so the fact that there's no jumbo energy or trainers meant that he just had a deck he couldn't ever win a game with.
From my understanding, he did have a single game win because a guy conceded and said, "I want to play a game 3."
Like, that's the only way you win games is by your opponent giving you wins.
Oh, 100%.
But it was super duper cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. I love it.
I expect there will be a rule
yes.
by Worlds that will say you can no longer play with jumbo novelty cards.
Well, that's how Yu-Gi-Oh now has a deck limit size compared to back when I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh like casually. Back then there was no upper limit, and this guy showed up to, I think, Worlds with a 420 deck.
I've heard about this story. Yep.
And like
the deck stood like 7 inches off the table or something.
No, it like the deck box is like, I kid you not, like 4 feet long, and he had like 2 guys help carry it in between rounds. He was a judge. The story I've heard is he was a judge and told Konami, "This is something you all need to address before someone does something about it." They're like, "Nah, it'll be fine." So he's like, "All right, well, I'm going to be that guy then." And
yeah,
so
I'll do it.
he showed up to Worlds or Nationals or something with it, and after registering the deck and having multiple judges have to go through the deck lists, because it was like basically a pamphlet of pages he had to turn in, he agreed to drop from the tournament on the condition that they changed the rule, because he and the judging staff concluded that he was not able to properly randomize his deck, and so he voluntarily disqualified himself.
Well, there you go. I can't think of anything in Magic, anybody doing anything like that.
No, nothing stupid like that.
No, we don't have any crazy stories like that. But Wizards does that all on their own. They don't need our help to mess their game up.
Wizards screws up their own games. I'm not really worried about that.
Yeah, they don't need anybody else's help.
Oh man. So
okay.
NAIC was this weekend.
Yeah, VGC time. So NAIC finals. Let's talk about this top cut here.
Yes. So we had 318 players in Masters. X and 2 was guaranteed for day 2. Is that right?
Yes, X and 2 was guaranteed for day 2. There were... I did the math on Discord. It was like 21...
11, I think, was the correct number. 11 X and 2s or something like that.
I don't remember.
And then a handful of X and 3s were able to make it in as well.
Yeah.
Based on resistance. And so, X and 2 was guaranteed. And so that gave us our top 32, which then played 5 additional rounds of Swiss on day 2.
Yep.
Plus a top 8 single elimination, leading to Sunday, where we had the finals of all 3 divisions, right? We had
all 3
juniors,
divisions,
seniors, and masters. Yes.
Yep. For both VGC and TCG were today. Pokken and Pokemon Go ended on Saturday.
Oh, okay. I did not actually know that.
This was Pokken's last event in the United States.
Ship it off, man.
Yep. Which, funnily enough, Unite had their regional finals last week during Milwaukee.
Yes.
For NAEU and whatnot. There's been a lot of uproar about people just like, why didn't you bring Unite to NAIC? Why you literally held it the same week? Why didn't you just hold it the same weekend?
Carl.
There's people talking about that.
They don't know what they're doing. They're a small indie company. Leave them alone. I need you to stop harassing Nintendo like this.
It's not even Nintendo we're harassing.
Okay, stop harassing Game Freak.
Nope, still incorrect.
The Pokemon Company.
There you go.
They're an even smaller, small indie company. I don't know what you expect.
But there's been a lot of people asking why they didn't do it all the same weekend. But anywho, I'm sad to see Pokken go. I think it was one of the more unique Pokemon games to have a competitive scene.
I agree. It was, from what I've watched, it was really cool. It was definitely a really cool event.
But anywho, congrats to James Evans getting the win at NAIC, your NAIC 2022 champion. I think he played the same exact 6 that he brought to Milwaukee.
I can tell you in 2 seconds.
I know it was Calyrex Shadow Groudon. I know that much. I just don't remember if it's the exact same 6. I'm pretty sure it is.
Let's see. Let's see. Oh, he doesn't have it pinned in his Twitter.
Just check Victory Road.
Yeah, but I already had Twitter open.
You should have had Victory Road open too.
I mean, I do. But when I Google his name, it took me to his Twitter.
Yes, it is the same 6.
All right, cool. See, I don't even know why you're worried. I got there.
But James Evans ended up getting the win this time. Against Gabriel Agati Madeira. Very, very good player from Brazil. Makes the trip to a good chunk of events. Not all of them United States events, but makes a good trip. I think at least 2 or 3 times a year to the bigger ones, just to try and earn his Worlds invite. Which I think any kind of top cut at this, if you had any kind of points left over, means that he was guaranteed to make Worlds.
Worlds is top cut 600. Is that right?
For Latin America, no.
No, for NA.
NA is 400.
Oh, okay.
So they have adjusted point totals for this year.
Got it.
Which I believe Latin America only needed 300.
So yeah, I mean, there's his World invite right there.
Pretty much,
cool.
Right? So got that, no problem. Oh goodness. James ended up being the 1 seed as well, coming out of the second rounds of Swiss on day 2. Chongjun was actually the undefeated player at the end of day 1. And
then ended up in your 3 seed here.
Yeah.
Pretty. I mean, if we're going through top cut teams here, going by seed, there's some really cool stuff. Obviously, James ended up playing and winning with the Groudon Cali Shadow team. This is basically just Rinya Sun minus Zard. Add Thundy.
Yeah, you improve your Rinya matchup by adding Thundurus. You have Venusaur to improve your Kyogre matchup. Your Pokemon that aren't restricted Pokemon are really good into Swordfish matchups.
Agreed.
Gastrodon, Venusaur, Thundy, all and even Incineroar do really well into these double steel physical attackers with Kyogre a lot of the time.
And as James went through the top cut bracket here, did end up taking down 2 Swordfish teams. One carried by Terran Birdie, and then of course Gabriel in the finals as well. So Terran here, of course, also had Amoonguss, Charizard, Whimsicott, and Thundurus of their own. Zhejiang played Groudon and Cali Shadow as well. Charizard, Venu, Instant, and Grimmsnarl to round out their team. Joe UX9 in your 4 seed here playing Lunaludon with, of course, Instant, Charizard, Venu, and Grimm as well. Over on the other side of the bracket, we have our 2 seed versus our 7. We have Justin Verns versus James Beck.
Yep.
Also, if you're not following James's content, his stuff is great as well. I would highly recommend James Beck's content to anyone who's looking to better themselves at this game, which I'm assuming is everyone in our audience.
Yeah, I'm assuming
Highly recommend James Beck. His content is very good, and I believe he's back to uploading pretty frequently.
I think so.
So looking at the teams here, Justin playing Kali, Ice plus Palkia, Amoonguss, P2, Tapu Fini, and Ensign to round out the team. James Beck playing Kali Shadow plus Zacian, Ensign, Gastro, Rillaboom, and Thundee to round that out. Of course, we've talked about Gabriel down here in your 6th seed, and then your 3 seed is Chongzhong Peng, playing your Groudon plus Zacian, Ensign, Charizard, Gastro, and Grimmsnarl. I don't know what people expected going into this event, but I feel like the only team that sticks out is Joe's team down here with Lunala. Like, Lunala is not a restricted Pokemon you see a ton of in this format. Obviously, we have seen a ton of, like, Palkia plus Kali Ice as of the last several tournaments that we've covered. Obviously placing very, very well. And a restricted duo that I think is way better than people give it credit for. But, like, Lunala is something that I believe last week I identified as like something I wanted to do well this weekend. And obviously, Joe is a phenomenal player. So for him to come out and to do very well with his team, he could pilot a Ham Sandwich to a victory. Like, the guy's very, very good.
Yeah, I'm convinced he's cursed, unfortunately, when it comes to top cuts.
Okay.
I believe it was Salt Lake City. He played against Chongjun. Chongjun knocked him out with some terrible, terrible luck. And then this weekend, it happened again. Every time he was on camera in day 2 and in top 8, I believe his luck just went down the crapper, man. Like, he got burned, and he double missed P-Blades, and it could go wrong. It did go wrong for him.
Yeah, that's rough.
I think I said it like twice this weekend that Joe is just cursed. Like, he's a fantastic player, and he can play himself out of these terrible spots, but he is cursed, unfortunately. And we gotta break it so he can win Worlds for us. Because that's the goal, right? We want him to win Worlds, because I believe he's... if he is not currently the number 1 points leader in NA, he is really dang close.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be super cool to have his just whole pedigree end in a Worlds victory this year.
Yeah, I think it would be very, very cool for him to come out and win Worlds. Obviously, there's a ton of people who are going to cheer for, like, all the big names, between, like, Aaron Zhang, and actually Aaron, I don't believe qualified for Worlds.
He did not qualify for Worlds this year. He had a very rough start to day 1 and then could not make it back.
I believe he said that he does not plan on playing any events between now and then. So I'm hoping what that means is we're going to see Aaron Zhang commentary at Worlds.
Yes, that's what it will be.
There are no more events
between now. There are no more events between now and Worlds.
Oh, you're right. I knew that.
I was like, of course he's not playing any events because there is no more events.
I knew that.
This was it. This was your last shot. If you did not qualify for Worlds after this, go get a spectator pass.
Reading is hard. We've established this. I can't read.
You only read when you want to read. Let's be honest. I think we also mentioned this last week about Lunala. I do not see it being a very good team anymore. Like, it was great when Zacian was very, very good. And I don't think Zacian's actually that great anymore. I think Zacian's much weaker now than it was. mainly due to the fact that there's a lot of these teams have developed very good ways of dealing with Zacian, very good ways of countering it, having a good answer for it, and a lot of Zacian's play patterns have become very predictable. You're almost locked into playing play rough anymore because if you don't, Palkia will destroy you.
Which, to be fair, I've always felt 3 attack plus protect was my favorite Zacian set anyway. So like play rough plus sacred sword, I think has just always been my go-to. Dropping sacred sword may be correct moving
it's
forward.
Not.
I said may. I didn't say it was
you have to be able to hit
but...
opposing Incineroar for super effective. You got to be able to two-shot them.
And more importantly, you have to be able to hit them through Intimidate drops, I think is the big thing there as well.
Well, Sacred Sword only cares about defense raises, not attack drops.
I could have swore it ignores all boosts.
It ignores all defense boosts, all defense changes in the opponent.
That's not right. Have I been misreading this move forever?
Probably. Sacred Sword ignores all defense changes in the opponent's defense stat.
The target stat changes don't affect... Huh.
So it doesn't matter what they do to you.
I could have sworn... Dude, the way I have always understood this is it ignores all stat changes in damage calc. But no, it's just defense and evasion stats. Interesting.
Yep. It ignores
reading is so hard.
I know, right? That's why you play it, is so like you can beat up the things that want to sit there and click Iron Defense in front of you, right? You want to be able to beat up Incineroar and those Bronzongs and things like that. Also just lets you beat up opposing Steel types really well.
Did you know Oshawott could get Sacred Sword as an egg move?
Neat.
Today I learned.
Well, now you do. Yeah, Lunala, I just don't see Lunala ever being great anymore. These Calyrex Shadow Groudon teams are the better Groudon plus Ghost type teams, in my opinion.
I'm not disagreeing, but Lunala looks cooler. So, there's my argument.
I'm also, like, against these Calyrex Ice Palkia teams now. I just don't think they do really well anymore. Like, the average player can't pick this up and sweep an event with it anymore. There's just too many things that have to go right for the Trick Room player in order for you to win the game.
Trick Room is a hard sell, man. But, man, when it is good, it is absurd.
I like the Reshiram versions more, I think, than the Palkia versions, mainly due to the fact that Zacian can't hit you super effectively.
It's really interesting. Because, like, both are able to affect Kyogre in a different way. Reshiram being able to live a billion hits and change the weather to be able to live more of them is obviously very good. Whereas Palkia is just like, yeah, I don't care what you've got going on. I'll take those hits all day.
Yeah.
The downside is that Reshiram is also weak to Groudon, which obviously I'm going to expect to play more Zacian than I am Groudon. So having this ground weakness is not as bad as it seems, especially when you're able to potentially counteract that in team building as, like, I mean, obviously that's what you play 5 other Pokemon for, is to mitigate your weaknesses of your Pokemon.
Yeah. I will say, of all the teams here, I think I like Gabriel's the most in terms of, like, tools and damage output and everything like that. James's team is very good into Gabriel's, which is part of the reason why he just got rolled in the finals. Overall, Gabriel's team is very, very good. I think if you're going to Worlds and the format doesn't change too terribly much, something similar to this with the Tailwind plus Double Intimidate plus Steel type that answers Kyogre plus Zacian Kyogre is just really, really good.
I also think just, like, dropping the Lando for Grimmsnarl and essentially just playing Crystal Rain is also just acceptable.
Crystal Rain would be dropping the Lando, dropping the Tornadus, and dropping the Kartana.
Yeah, but like I also think Kartana is just good on these rain teams.
The big thing is if you're not playing Tornadus and you're playing Grimmsnarl, you need to make sure that you can effectively outspeed the Calyrex Shadow all the time. Mm-hmm. Which, if your speed control is you tricking an Iron Ball or clicking Thunder Wave, that isn't guaranteed.
Correct. My thought process behind wanting Tornadus and Grimmsnarl is that it still lets you do the hyper offensive things with Kyogre and like your Zacian and your Kartana as well. But like having the extra utility of Grimmsnarl lets you play these slower, grindier games if you really need to.
Yeah.
So it makes you more of a like traditional mid-range team by being able to play hyper offense or bulky defense depending on what you need. Obviously, like this is just me rambling on about a very minor change. Not even minor. Like it's still a pretty major change, all things considered. Mm-hmm. Like anytime you're changing a decent Dynamax Mon or like to a defensively pivoting, wall, it is a very big difference. You're very reliant on Zacian, Kyogre, and Kartana to clean up games, and losing that offensive presence of Landorus and like to an extent being able to just constantly intimidate cycle between Landorus and Ensign also makes you weaker into other matchups.
Yeah. Like I said, Gabriel's team just hard loses to James's team just because James has very good answers for Kyogre. It has very good answers for Kartana. Landorus is always scared of that Thundurus because you do not want to double intimidate that Thundurus. You will be sad.
Even getting one off is just like, yeah, we're not in great shape anymore.
Yeah, because then you're fighting a +1 Thundurus with your Landorus, and I'm just like, you may be able to hit it with Rockfall, like in Dynamax, but it's hitting you with a +1 Max Airstream.
Mm-hmm.
And then it outspeeds you the next turn, and it just snowballs from there.
Yeah, it doesn't particularly end well all the time.
So yeah, like anything like Gabriel's team, if you just go into Worlds and you want to make day 2, 100% something like that. That'll get you to day 2 fairly easily. Same thing with something like James's team. It's very standard on paper, and it'll get you to day 2 pretty easily, probably.
That's the hope, right?
Yep. I want to look at some of these top 64 teams before we get out of here and move on. I know we talked a little bit about... There is this one. I'm trying to find it. I don't think it made day 2, but I think it did well enough to be near the top 40 or 50. I know it was on camera at the end. It was like
help me help you. What are we looking for?
Ditto and Urshifu and
I have not seen a Ditto while scrolling through these teams.
It specifically was like Ditto, Urshifu, Shedinja, or something like that.
Let's see. The closest I got is Clefairy, Shedinja, Raichu.
Where's the... Oh, I see it. Mando's team in 33rd here. Yveltal Ogre, and then Raichu, Shedinja, Kartana, Clefairy. Yeah, that's a... I think we've talked about this team before. It's something
pretty dang close, if not. There's a Ditto in 24th in the hands of Jesse Romalo, but it's Dialga plus Kyogre, which is actually a pretty unique combination of restricteds as well.
Yeah.
Ensign, Rillaboom, Ditto, and Tornadus to round it out.
Colossal in 27th.
Never heard of it.
Oh, man. Let me tell you.
There's a Celesteela in 9th.
There is a Celesteela in 9th. Neat.
Talk about a very unique Pokemon.
Something we don't see anymore.
Minute, when it was first introduced, I thought it was grass type. I thought it was grass flying. I was like, yeah, this is just way better Tropius, and then I'm like, no, this is clearly not a flying type. This is grass steel. Like, but that doesn't make sense because we also have
wrong.
Kartana. I don't know. Like, I just got really tree vibes from it, and like, obviously that's like very incorrect. But
isn't it like the bamboo jet Pokemon or something?
I believe so. That sounds correct.
Isn't it called the bamboo jet Pokemon?
It is the launch Pokemon.
The launch Pokemon. Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. According to Bulbapedia, Celesteela is a steel flying type. It is known.
UB04 Blaster.
Sure. Celesteela is a large, vaguely humanoid ultra beast. With a bodily construction that resembles a cross between a space shuttle and a bamboo shoot.
Neat.
It has a small white head with tiny mouth and a skinny neck with 3 segments. Which, dude, its head is so weird. Its head's so tiny.
Yeah, like, you can barely see its eyes.
Oh, let's see. What else interesting things we got going on here? Kyle Livinghouse had Mimikyu here in 17th, just outside looking in on top 16.
Yeah, the Mimikyu popped up. I think he popped up on camera with it, and the Mimikyu was not impressive, unfortunately.
A bunch of the Rain Shedinja team, the French Rain teams going on. I believe Tiki ended up playing it, is that right?
Tiki was playing Calyrex Palkia with Quick Claw Mungus.
Was it Nino then?
Nino's playing.
Yeah.
Has been playing the French Rain team for a very long time.
Yeah, it's also super sweet. Also, shout outs to Nino and Chase and Adam on your top 64 finishes here.
Yep, great job, boys.
Huge shout outs to them. Also, huge shout out to, of course, Evan. For not only like going 5 and 4 at the event, but like also working doing
the VGC pace thing the entire time.
It's just like absolutely absurd. Evan is a mad, like just complete mad lad.
He's already home too, by the way.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's already back.
Oh, I need to make sure that he got his stuff.
I don't know. I heard in the usage report that in day 2 there were 10 Slowbros in day 1.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, so do you remember the Slowbro Yveltal Groudon team?
Yes. And I know it was on camera.
There were 10 of those.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
So hot.
I love it.
Dude, there's a Coco in 49th.
Yeah, I saw that with Lunaludon.
Lunaludon, Coco, Amoonguss, Ensign, Zard.
Adam had the only Araquanid.
To the surprise of no one, Adam plays Pokemon he likes. And like, dude, coming out and getting a 6 and 3 with like Araquanid of all Pokemon is just awesome.
Yeah.
I love this Araquanid team. One of the people over in DPEC were talking about wanting to play Araquanid. I'm like, boy, howdy, do I have a team for you.
Let me help you out.
And then Adam ended up, also just like completely killing it at NAIC as well.
I was gonna say, I transitioned us back to our camera page a little too early. There was a Xerneas in top 64.
It was 62nd.
Yep, the dream was alive there for a little while.
I believe it was the only Xerneas.
It is the only Xerneas. Yep.
Lots of Lunaludons, man.
Yeah, I told you Lunaludon's popular. It's just not the greatest right now. I mean, Your Shadow Shield is great, except for when everything outspeeds you and you can't fake it out.
I wonder, I'm sure Evan has already done the math, But man, there's a lot of swordfish.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so much swordfish. I wonder if Zacian has been overtaken by Kyogre as most played. Restricted. It's probably closer than I want to give it credit for. There's obviously a ton of Zacian still. And, I mean, there's also... Like, there's more Zacians by themselves than there are Kyogres by themselves. So... Really, really interesting tournament. I'm excited to go back and actually get time this week to hopefully watch.
I counted 37 Zacian
That's absurd.
in the top 64.
I'm currently going through and counting Kyogres.
Okay, I'll count Groudon then.
$23 Kyogre. You said 37 Zacian?
Yep.
Man, that's a lot. Man, where's Evan's, like, stat usage when I need it?
I counted 19 Groudon too.
Look, man, only one of us can be yawning on this cast, and I already claimed it.
No, you didn't.
That's fair.
You did not claim it.
Oh, man.
You're welcome.
I started it. That's the worst part.
Oh. But yeah, there is a lot of cool teams at this event. Go check out Victor Road. They have all of it, top 64 posted there for you. If you're looking for something cool for Worlds or looking for something for Ladder, definitely go check that out. There's a lot of cool stuff there. Hint, hint, go play Colossal. It's still really good.
I wonder if it's time to run back the Araquanid team just to give it some more airtime. Dude, the team's so fun.
I think there's a new rental code, so you might want to go pick up the new rental.
I'll have to message Adam and ask. Has he posted it on his Twitter?
It's on Twitter. Yep, it's on Twitter. That's the only reason I know is because it's on Twitter.
Got it. Oh, hey, I found it.
Hey, look at that. Goodness. It's going to be a long day tomorrow. I'll tell you that.
I agree. This week has been poopy.
We are
To
dog
put it very
sitting for our
bluntly.
neighbors. I can hear Hippo in the background.
Hippo the dog, not Hippo the animal, just to be
Yes,
clear.
Hippo the dog. Yes. Hippo the dog. Hippo is a big old teddy bear, and all he wants to do is love on you. And never come inside and or listen because he can't hear you. He is deaf, and all he wants to do is just love on you. Okay, so we talked NAIC, TCG, VGC, random life stuff. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
I don't think so, man. You know, we went on a few rants today, and I think they were good rants.
Good rants all the same. Okay, then let's get out of here for the night.
All right, time to go to bed.
Yeah.
Time to go to bed as
For
soon as I
you.
get this sent. Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Yep. So, as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you're listening over on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done already, and ring that bell for notifications when we go live with new videos. Like I said at the top of the show, hopefully in the next couple weeks, my life settles down and I can get back to streaming and possibly get over on the YouTube channel there as well and get all that stuff situated. Past that, you can always follow us over on all the other podcast platforms, including Apple and Spotify, where you can leave those 5-star reviews. Check us out on Twitter at LR Lessons, myself at Mr. Missouri 25. Carl is at VGC. Carl is at Musical VGC. Excuse me.
Yes.
You of course can also go check us out on Twitch at Mr. Missouri 25 and at Musical. And if you're really interested, you can come and join our community Discord, where you get to hang out with us, play in all of our events that we have going on. We obviously have like team building groups and all that we have going on at basically all hours of the day.
Yeah, somebody's almost always active somewhere in the Discord, even if it's one of us.
I'd also like to point out that like we're also like very user friendly. If you come in and say, I've never played a game, what do I need to start with? By all means, you're in the right place.
Someone will point you in the right direction
to help you. Yeah. But yeah, check out the website at lrlessons.com. You can go ahead and check out the merch page while you're there and pick you up a fantastic t-shirt or a glass or all kinds of stuff.
Hat, stickers.
No sandals because Carl hates me. I'm just saying. They
also would be expensive.
I'm just saying, one purchase would make it worth it. If I can convince one person to buy them, it would be worth it.
They would have to sell them for like $30.
That's fine.
That's not fine.
I've spent more on shoes.
Goodness. You can't afford that and gas card. It doesn't work how that's not how this works.
Hecking true.
I would rather people be able to afford food than our merch. Like, we don't have to break the bank here.
Hecking true. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, Anchor support. Of course, you can always go and check us out on Anchor. And for as low as 20 or 25 cents an episode, you can keep our lights and doors and all those stuff on and open and all that good stuff. It really
if you're listening on Spotify, we greatly appreciate it because our Spotify ad revenue changed. So the way Spotify had been working before is any play was getting you an ad sent. Any play, whether you listen to the ad or not. Well, now, if people listen to the ad, we get more, but we don't get it per play. Now we get it per listen for the ad, but we're getting more money in the long run.
Interesting.
So if you're on Spotify, listen to the ad. Go find it. It's going to be a mid-roll ad because that's the only way I can get anybody to listen to them.
Papa Swish messaged me. He's like, I love the fact that your ads always cut Carl off mid-sentence.
Yep.
It's like, look, man, I don't set them up, but I'm sure like Carl could probably do some fancy editing to make it where that doesn't happen. He's like, no, leave it. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's so Anchor gives a timestamp, and I put the timestamp in, and it just sometimes it just moves and it happens to cut me off.
All right, well, thanks, Anchor.
Yeah.
But well. I love our community, man. They're fantastic.
Yep.
If you are interested in hanging out and listening to me rant about life, you're in the right spot.
Oh, we'll have an update on our live event circuit, probably next week.
Yep, for sure. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But
now that all IRL events are pretty much done through to Worlds, we'll have time to sit down and talk about that stuff and
think about
figure out what we're going to do there, because the current system is not working and we got to figure out what to do next.
Yep, but it'll be all right. We'll figure it out then. So
yep.
I got a whole lot of nothing else, man.
I think that's it.
All right. So as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Peace.